In 2021, I scaled my own product company using Facebook ads and TikTok ads from $0 to $100,000 per month in a span of 8 weeks. And it started with like $500 left in my bank account. I invested all my money into this product that I thought was just gonna blow up overnight, but that's not the way it works. It turns out even if you invent a great product or you have something that everybody wants, it doesn't mean anything if you're not communicating it to the people that want it. So I had to learn paid ads because it was a $20 product. And if I wanted to get to $100,000 per month, it's hard to do that like just going door to door and like cold calling people, right? Imagine having to sell like 4,000, 5,000 of them every single month. If you use paid advertisement, let's say like billboards or just paying for flyers, or in my case, it was social media ads. If you're paying to get your message in front of people. And the goal of advertising is to basically automate your sales process. Because if you can automate your sales process, you pretty much locked in the hardest part of business. And the way that you do that with social media, paid ads, for example, Facebook or TikTok, any one of these platforms, is you create ads that get people to click. You get them to go to like a website that shares more information, gets them to want to book a call or maybe purchase the product if it's like a low ticket product. But you can't really do any of that if you don't set goals. So this video is all about setting goals. And first I'm going to share, how to set proper monthly goals, unit goals, conversation goals, and then spend goals. This is like the power of leverage, right? If we're advertising, we got to know what our numbers are. So I'm going to give you guys an example. Like, let's say you're selling a $5,000 product, right? So whatever your product is $5K. And then you set this as a monthly goal that you want to get to $100K per month, right? You want to break it down. Any goals that you have, you want to break them down. You want to make them a little bit more digestible, especially when it comes to your spend. And I'll explain why that's so important towards the end. So then you break it down, let's say on a weekly basis, it's a 4-week month. You got 25K per week. And then let's say per day, it should be 5K, 25 divided by 5 days a week. So 5K. Now, the unit goal, the reason this is so important is because like you need to have a good grasp on the number of people that you got to connect with, the number of people that have to become clients on a monthly, weekly, or daily basis. In this case, you have a $5,000 product. To get to 100K, you need 20 clients. And then if you want to get to 25K a week, you need 5 clients per week. And that means 1 client per day. So now that you have the number of clients that you need, we also got to find out how many conversations, because clients don't just come out of nowhere. We got to have X amount of conversations to get to X amount of number of clients. So you got to think about like, what is my average close ratio? So let's say 1 out of every 4 meetings, you have a 25% close ratio, then you need 4 conversations a day. You need 20 per week. And if you have 4 weeks, so you need 80 conversations for the month to get to 20 deals for the month that will also get you to 100K for the month. Now, this is the part where a lot of people struggle because most entrepreneurs struggle to have 4 good quality conversations per day. This is the part because that should be like the #1 focus, because we don't look at the 100K to get to 100K. We got to look at the daily needle movers that are going to get us to 100K. So how do we get to 4 quality conversations every single day? Well, a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll try to do cold calls, right? Or maybe they'll tap out their warm market. Now, if you're doing cold calls and you can sustain this every single day, that's great. But most people can't. Most people will get burnt out. So that's where the power of leverage comes in. Because what I would want to do as an entrepreneur is like, I don't mind paying to get my time back. So for example, if I need to get 4 conversations a day, that means, let's say I got to do 2 hours worth of cold calling to get to 4 meetings per day that I also got to set. Because remember, you got to go on 4 meetings and then you got to also set 4 meetings for the following day. I'd rather find a way to pay to have those meetings come to me. And that's when you start using the power of leverage. And a lot of people do this, for example, when they hire lead vendors. It's a great way to like get this here. But the problem with lead vendors is you don't have predictability. You see, if somebody else controls the way that you're getting leads and how much you're paying for those leads, then you don't have predictability with this next part, which is your spend goal. And this is a really, really important one, right? Your spend goal is your leverage tool. And the way that you get to the spend goal is you first got to think about, what is my customer acquisition cost? So let's say this is what we make per client, LTV. Then we also want to know what our CAC is, right? So how much are we willing to pay to acquire that $5,000 client? For example, for me, I had a $20 product and I had to manufacture overseas. I had all these costs of goods. I had to ship it. I had to factor in the cost per shipping per product. And in total, it was costing me like $2.38 to make it landed. And then I knew after like the cost of advertisement, after the cost of warehouse, I had employees, there's like a 30% profit margin that I want to make sure I'm always at. That was like my goal, to always be at like a 30 to 35% profit margin. So I knew after all of my expenses, my customer acquisition cost was $5. I needed to get to like the $5 range to be like in the sweet spot that I wanted to be at. Now, for a $5,000 product, especially if it's like a coaching offer, or maybe like you sell insurance or something like that, where you'll make $5,000 and you don't have any spend for your product, then your customer acquisition cost could be something like in the range of like $500 to $1,000. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with spending $1,000 if you have a predictable way to get another $5,000. And that's the goal, right? Having a predictable goal where you put money in like a predictable slot machine and X amount always comes out, or somewhere around the same ballpark, right? So let's say, for example, here, your goal is to be at, let's say hypothetically, $500, right? That's like a 10x return, by the way. That's like fantastic for most companies. So let's say your goal is a $500 customer acquisition cost. Now you know on a daily basis, you got to be able to spend $500. And on a weekly basis, that's $2,500. And on a monthly basis, that's $10,000. Right? So now you have your goal and your target of how much you're willing to spend, to where like if you spend it, you get a client in return. You're like, you know what? I'll spend it again, and I'll spend it again. And that's how you can scale to $100,000 per month. You find out what is the daily number of conversations, and then have a budget that can help you get to that number of conversations, right? So there's some steps to this. It's a 3-step process where first you want to start off with a small budget, right? You want to pick a small budget to start doing some testing with. For me, I was spending like maybe $20 a day, and that was giving me data. You want to just be able to create data. So for example, if you create an ad that you record and then you run it on Facebook and you spend $500 on that ad, what if the ad flops? Right? What if the ad doesn't get you any leads or any appointments? Yeah, that would kind of suck. It'll be like a kick in the nuts. So what you want to do is you want to start off with small spend. You want to start off with a really small budget. You can do like $20 to $50 a day. On average, all of my clients are doing like $50 a day to start off with. And what happens is when you start spending on a small scale, you start creating small scale results. So maybe it can take you a week or 2 weeks before you start landing your first client. But what matters is the math mathing? Does the math make sense? Right? In 2 weeks, let's say you spend $500 and you got one sale, then you did create a system where you spent $500 and you got one sale. Now you can start raising the budget because you are in the green. The goal is to not go over your customer acquisition costs. So you start off with a small spend, then you do whatever you can to hit that target by testing new ads and new landing pages, new offers, new angles, new messaging, new customer avatars. There's so many different things that you can test to help you get to your customer acquisition costs. But the goal is to do it on a small scale. And then once you hit that customer acquisition cost, you start increasing the spend like 20 to 25% every week, and you start scaling slowly. So the goal here is to work strategically, right? You can tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna work my ass off and sell 100K of whatever I sell per month, by doing cold calls and knocking on all these doors, but eventually you'll burn yourself out. You want to be able to work smarter, not harder. So to me, one of the best ways to work smarter is just building relationships, building partnerships, because there you have a zero customer acquisition cost. But if you don't have relationships, you don't have partnerships yet, and you want to grow your business a lot faster, I highly recommend you run paid ads and do it yourself. Like, don't hire anybody, don't hire a lead vendor, don't hire a marketing agency. You can do it yourself. And stay tuned, because in the next video, I'm going to go over these 3 steps. So if you want to start setting up your goals in the meantime, understanding like what is your goal and how much you need to be spending on a daily basis to get to the number of conversations that are going to get you to the number of deals that are going to get you to 100K a month, $1 million a month. It doesn't matter where you're trying to get to. The math stays the same regardless. Only difference is you're going to need more people as you scale. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Hey guys, if you enjoyed watching that video, you're only one good ad away from actually taking your business to the next level. If you're not sure how to make winning ads using artificial intelligence, click on the link below and book a free 15-minute strategy call where somebody from our team will learn a little bit more about your business, and they'll help you craft up winning ads on the spot that you can start recording, start publishing, and start getting some results right away. Click on the link. It's completely free. We look forward to connecting with you guys. Peace.
Bye bye lead vendor.